Hey there, it's Roslyn here. I hope you're doing well. And today is the Team Tiny June 2022 hop, and we're all going to be making shaped cards today. I brought out some hexagons from Pink and Maine, and I'm also going to be decorating my card with some honeybee products because I'm making a honeybee theme. And I'm also going to add a word die from Sunny Studios, the Hello die, and using this whimsy stamp stencil called Honeycomb Drips to decorate my card. So to make a shaped card, we want to cut down our paper to fit whatever shape that we're going to be using. I'm going to show you how you can use an A2 size card here with the largest honeycomb die. So I've just cut my paper in half and I'm folding that in half so that it's an 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 A2 size card. And that fits my honeycomb, the largest die, perfectly. So I'm just going to offset that off the edge at the fold line of the card, tape that down and run that through my die cutting machine. And when I remove the tape here, you'll see that it creates a card with the honeycomb shape. Now, we don't have the scallops on the top, but I'm going to be adding an additional layer on top when I decorate the card. And it stands up perfectly. Another way that you can make a shaped card, no matter what the shape, I'm going to use the hexagon die again, and I'm going to put that on my scoreboard, and I've decided to score that at about 3/4 of an inch on the one side there. And I'm going to fold that along the score line, make sure that's nicely burnished down, and I'm going to add glue only to that small part of the hexagon. I'm going to line up my front panel right along that folded piece, and I used liquid glue here just so I have a little bit of wiggle room because it's not, a perfectly square shape or anything. So now that I've got that glued down, I can open that card up and you can see any shape will work with this technique as well. Now you might be wondering, okay, hexagons, they stand up straight because they have a flat bottom, but what about other shapes? Like circles or ovals in this case, or hearts. I'm doing the same folding technique as I did previously, and I cut some paper and made cards the size that I would need for these shapes. One is the largest oval from the Hero Arts Infinity dies, and the other is a Sunny Studio stitched heart die. So I've used the same method as my first method, and as you can see, when I open these up and I want to display the cards, you can see that that heart just likes to fall over. And it's the same with this oval. There it goes. So to remedy that, I got my trimmer here, and I'm going to just trim off the slightest bit off the back of the card. So make sure you're opening your card up. And I like to align that score line with one of the lines on my trimmer and just cut like 3/4 of an inch, 1/2 an inch, anything that will make that back portion flat. So when I stand up the card, the back panel is now flat and my cool shapes can stand up. So on to making my hexagon card. I have these cute dies from Honeybee. They're called Honeybee paper piecing dies. And I'm just cutting that apart. Those little roundish ones are the bees' bodies that will attach to the outline pieces. They're very intricate dies. So I already cut this out once on black cardstock, the entire bees. And then I realized that I'm going to lose the little teeny tiny eyeballs from the bees. So instead, I just lined the back of my cardstock with some score tape and ran that through my die cutting machine. So there it is. Now it didn't cut all the way through, which is why I like to use the score tape method. Some are stuck in my dies and some are stuck right on the back of the score tape there. But I'm just going to show you how I put these little guys together. I just line up the little bodies, and since the black paper already has sticky on it, I don't have to add any liquid glue or anything. It is ready to go. And a piercing tool comes in super handy with this method. to get all those little bits and pieces out from the bumblebees. So these were super easy to put together. It was the first time I used this die actually. And then I just take my little paper piercer and pick up the teeny tiny eyes there for the bumblebee and get them in place. And I think that looks so adorable. And one last one. So I think this was the best way for me to handle all those little itty bitty eyeballs. And there you go. I'm just retrieving that little eyeball there and putting on the bee. Now, to step it up just a little bit, I am going to back the wings with vellum. So I've already done a bunch of them on the side there. I just got a piece of vellum, stuck the wings down because they are still sticky from the score tape on the back. I just stuck them down on the vellum, and I'm just going to fussy cut around the wings, and we have an easy way to back these wings with vellum. And you could also use glitter cardstock or any kind of cardstock, anything that you want to put on those bees' wings. So to the card, there's my folded card. I decided to cut another of the large hexagon, scallop hexagon in black. And I also cut a simple hexagon from smooth white cardstock. And I've decided to take this stencil. It's a really cute stencil with this ooey gooey drippy honey. You could really use it for anything. Honey, icing, blood, you know, for Halloween. Okay. Anyway, so I'm taking some wild honey, Distress Oxide ink, which is the perfect honey color in my opinion. It just looks so pretty and so like warm and sunshine, and it's beautiful. I'm just going to blend some of that wild honey over that stencil, and I wanted an additional drip here. I thought it wasn't drippy enough, so I'm just going to move the stencil along and find another drip to blend onto my cardstock. And it's a 2-for-1 stencil, so I can do the honeycombs from the bottom, and I'm just going to line that up however I like it on here and get blending some of that wild honey, not so intensely, just a light layer on the background. So Team Tiny is a small group of YouTubers that meet on Facebook, and we organize hops monthly to help our channels grow. So we're all channels under 1,000 subscribers, and that means most likely you won't have any ads on our videos, and you can just hop from place to place to see all of our videos ad free. Now, how to hop is to click on the hashtag Team Tiny June 2022 hop. It'll be in my description and in my title. If you click that, it'll bring up all of the participants and their videos for you to watch. And we'd love to have you hop along. So to add a little bit more interest to my background, I'm taking this, I made this little splat box from an IKEA cardboard box. No need to pay anyone for any cardboard boxes for splatter. This works just fine. Taking some just regular black dye ink here, adding some water to it, and splattering that on the background. And I'm also taking this Avery L white splatter and just removing the lid and splattering some white dots. And it just gives a little bit more interest to my honeycomb background. So I'm going to attach this black piece onto my background. And now I'm just going to put the glue on the card base because it doesn't have a full honeycomb. And I'm using liquid glue, so once again, I can line that up nicely and it doesn't just stick right away. I have some wiggle room. And then I'm going to get my blended background attached as well. And I will be having another video up on another shaped card. I was inspired by making this video, and I made a Father's Day card in the shape of a golf ball. So check that out when you get a chance. So I'm going to go ahead and decorate the front of my card. I have a sentiment here from the Beautiful sentiment stamp set from Honeybee, and it's got all these awesome sayings that you can pair up with any bee themed things. This one says buzzing by to say, and then I'm going to complete that with the hello word die from Sunny Studios. And I'm just planning out the front of my card here with the little bumblebees and see how many I can fit on there. And I'm going to stamp this set. I'm going to stamp this stamp, and I've just left the honeybees there so I kind of have a reference of where I should be putting this sentiment. And I'm stamping that with some VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink. And I also cut out the hello word die out of the black cardstock, and it still has, I just found a spot where it still had the score tape on there, so I don't have to add any extra glue. And you just got to be careful with these real intricate dies. I always forget to stick adhesive on the back of cardstock for intricate dies, but this time I remembered and it worked out so nicely. So I'm just going to set that hello where I want it on my card. And then this just helps, like when I put a black behind the gold, it just helps separate it from the background. It really makes that gold hello pop. And so it doesn't blend right into the background of my card, since it's the same, like similar colors. So I'm just going to offset that slightly, and it looks like the hello has a nice black shadow now. And then next I'm going to glue down my little cute honeybees. This guy's my favorite. He just looks so adorable. I bent up the wings a little bit to give that a little bit of dimension, a little bit of interest. And I could only fit 3 bees on here nicely. Keeping it in odd numbers is pleasing to the eye, so I just went with 3, or I would have had to go with 5 or 1, or you know how it goes. So 5 wasn't working for my card. And I thought I was done here, but I decided that these little bees needed some trails, so I brought in this stamp set from Lawn Fawn. I think it's the berry special one, and it has like a little bee trail on it. So I just, I'm going to freehand and stamp some of these little bee trails. And that just brings the black in again on the card. And just freehand that and stamp some little bee trails. I think that's really cute. And an itty bitty one for this guy. Doesn't really work, but I did it anyway. There we go. So that is my card for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it's inspired you to make a shaped card, and I hope you hop along to all of the other creators, and all your likes and comments and subscriptions really do help. So hope you have a great day. Take care.